G'day, Aussie Craig here. Today I'm going to show you my firelighting kit. I've got a little tin here, don't think you can see it too well, but it actually says live with no regrets. I think that's a pretty apt saying for something that will put you, if something can get you out of trouble in a survival situation. Let me open it up and I'll show you what's in there. Right, I've got a few loose grains of rice that floats around in the tin. The rice is there solely to absorb any moisture, and I'm sure you can agree that we don't want moisture in something that's used to light a fire. In here I've got a plastic bag full of Vaseline impregnated cotton wool, and we'll open that up and show you that in a moment. In here I've got a ordinary box of matches that are wrapped up in a little plastic bag. Again, in here there's some rice, and the rice is to absorb the water, any moisture that might be in here. I've got a broken ferro rod. These little light rods that we buy, they're cheap, they work well, but I find they don't work very well against the back of a big knife, which is what I was using on this when it broke. What I use now is a small pocket knife, and which I've got in the tin here, which is this one. It's a cheap little knife, and then I use that to draw a spark off the ferro rod, and I'll show you how that all works later on. This is a wrapped pack of matches. I think there's about 8 in there. In fact, in this box of matches here, I wrap all my matches up in electrical tape, and you seal it up in there, simply because it helps protect them against moisture. So if something happens in the box, you can protect them. Also, I find that if I pull them out of a box, I can keep the box wrapped up in that. And I can keep this loose in the tin or throw them in my pocket. And if I don't want to open up the tin, I can open it up, use the striker on the back of the tin, and take it from there. That's another open one. In here I've got a tightly bound packet of 2 or 3 cotton balls, which I've wrapped up in electrical tape again. And the reason is, I'll show you that in a moment as we get along. You might notice that I've got everything white. White box matches, cotton wool, ferro rod's got white electrical tape on it. That's wrapped in electrical tape. My matches are. Only thing that's not white is my pocket knife, but that's reasonably shiny. And the reason being is, if you drop something of a knife, it's extremely easy to see. Now, in Australian conditions, we don't have snow. I don't go camping in the snow. I don't go hiking through the snow. It's very unlikely, even in winter time, that I'm going to get caught out by snow, particularly where I go. And so, you know, if I did go into snow country, I'd probably do something bright orange like this, or fluoro pink or something. But the white stands out, and it's quite easy to find overnight. In my tin of, it's just a tissue, separates what I've got in the bottom here from the other stuff to stop a mess. I've got the old ferro rod lighter striker. I don't use these, they're too tiny, they're a pain in the butt, but I carry it anyway. What else I carry in here, I've got a bit of a charred cotton wool that I've used before, a bit of ash from spent matches and that, and I carry a bit of busted up candle and a bit of shaved wax from that candle. And again, I'll show you how that all works later on. I'll show you how this works. Let me just get some of this stuff. Normally I'd use a bigger batch of cotton wool than here, but just for illustrate the purposes of what we're doing, just grab a little bit out of here and take it from there. Don't need much. Grab that. Now, what I do with this, I'll leave that in a big bundle. I get some of this wax and I'll press it into there. I don't need to use a lot, but so I press a little bit of wax and shake it, sprinkle a bit of wax over there. Now, because that's impregnated with Vaseline, sometimes the Vaseline makes the cotton wool a little bit too wet, and it's a bit harder to ignite with the ferro rod. The other thing is, because I want it tight, I don't want to tease it out, and if I teased it out, that would make it light a lot quicker. But because of the impregnation, I wanted to retain its bulk, and so that it'll burn a lot longer, particularly with the bit of wax there that's on there, which will melt through. So all I do, I tease a little bit out of, can you just see that there? Don't need much. I tease it out. All it is to make a flash point for the ferro rod to hit, and away I'll go. So I'll throw that in there. Now, of course, I can light this numerous ways using the matches if I like. There's a bit of charred cotton wool from before. I can use that. I'll just show you how this works. There you go, instant flame. That little bit of teased cotton wool that burned up quite quickly. And as you can see, that's burning, and it's burning instant flame. Don't know if you can hear the crackle of the wax there as the wax is starting to burn. You can hear the thing, but that's quite bright. Now, the other thing that you can do with these matches though, is if you're out and about and your tinder that you want to add to this is wet, you can use your matches. The other thing that you can use with your electrical tape, I wouldn't recommend you do it often, but with toxins and whatnot, but we are talking about it in an emergency where, you know, in an emergency where you've got to get the fire going, where things might be wet or damp, you can use a bit of electrical tape on there and that'll help burn longer as well. But it's something I'd only recommend to do in an emergency, but as you can see, look, that's just starting to go out. I can, we can put a couple of matches on there, and it's too late, but I could have thrown a few matches on there. That would have extended the life of the burn. And the other thing is, as I previously said, I'd use more cotton wool than that anyway. The length of time that burn was burning would have been more than enough to get a fire going. You know, a lot of people use muck around carrying bark and char cloths and stuff like that. I can do all that. I've done all that. But I found I can carry a stack of this. I can carry a little bit of that. That's going to last me for how many, who knows how many fires, probably about 50 fires. And you know, if it got to the stage that I was in a survival situation, well, as my supplies dwindled down, I could make a bit of charred cloth, or I could carry a bit of birch or a bit of pine bark, pine needles, or whatever is equivalent here, a bit of wattle bark, and I could use that. But, for my situation, this is my fire tin. I find it works extremely well. I can throw it in my kit. It's going to sit there until I need it, and it's reliable. And as you saw, it ignited straight away. Only one or two strikes of a flint buff, it was up. In fact, that little flame there, if I wasn't gas bagging to you, it would have been more than enough in most situations to get a fire going. So, cheers. see you around the traps. Catch you on the next video.